The hug heard around the company. I was thrust a laptop by an angry exec early this morning, with him complaining that his laptop had locked up again. Normally we have a ticketing system in place for any and all tech issues. However, when an exec wants something, he bypasses the system because of RHIP. So I go through the normal routine of diagnosis, and through my efforts I see that the issue is simply bad RAM. I replace the RAM and take the unit back to the exec. He tells me he refuses to take the unit unless I have made 100% sure that everything that was wrong with it is fixed. Internally I wanted to punch this man, but I held it in and simply asked him what other issues he was having, and pulled out a notepad. He ran through a load of issues that all screamed, "Just run FKINC cleaner," to me, and I took his unit back to my desk. After going through and cleaning out BS installed programs, used literally once and never again, and cleaning out junk data, I found that a folder was hidden. I log in with my creds, and enable viewing hidden or protected files, and I see that the hidden folder was from 2014. Basically it was just a bunch of pictures, and looked to be a temp folder created by one of the old programs I removed. Some kind of picture manager or some such. Normally, when we see personal pictures on the machine, we are supposed to delete them immediately. Now no one ever does this, as we are not that big of dicks in the IT department. Plus this guy was an exec, so I decided to just move the pictures to his desktop, under a folder I created called Old Pics. I took the laptop to him, and informed him of the pics, telling him I left it up to him if he wanted them deleted or not. He thanked me for my time and I went back to work. About an hour later, him and his wife, who had come up to join him for lunch, came over to my desk. He seemed very happy and she was crying. Now normally, when I have nothing to do and a boss comes over, I stand up to greet them. Just the way I was raised, I guess. I was not prepared for what followed and was totally shocked by the outcome. The lady wanted to thank me for finding the pictures, and the exec reached out to shake my hand thanking me profusely, before pulling me into a hug in front of the entire IT department. I awkwardly hugged him back and he let me go embarrassed. My eyes are wide, flabbergasted and totally unprepared for this, extremely out of character moment from this guy. Barely able to hold back the tears, his wife tells me that the pictures I recovered were thought to be lost. In 2012, their 4-year-old son had died of leukemia, and the pictures I recovered were taken right before his diagnosis at 3 years of age. Because of a house fire a few years ago, they thought they lost every last photo of their son. Apparently those were the photos I had recovered. His wife reached out to hug me, and everyone in the IT department stared at their screens hard with puffy eyes, as we were all not expecting this kind of emotional event today. My boss came out of his office to personally thank me, and forwarded an email chain to me ahead of a company-wide email that the CEO sent out, basically retelling the tale while naming me personally. He threw in words about striving for excellence, and the unexpected results of everyday excellence. I had to turn off my Skype for Business as the attaboys kept coming in one after the other. My boss told me to take my lunch early, since the flood of messages was making it hard to do my job. Modern warfare needs 1 terabyte of RAM. Hi all, mandatory LTL, FTP. On mobile, so formatting will be a bit sketchy, and disclaimer, not in tech support but hopefully will be eventually after completing my comp sci degree. Was in a TeamViewer session with a colleague, but 10 brief minutes ago when I discovered to my distaste that his 2 terabytes HDD was filled to the brim, as was his 120 gigabytes SSD. Upon inquiring what was using such immense portions of precious digital real estate, I was met with the standard, "I'm not sure, it's always been like that. I just delete stuff when it's too full to function" type response. Enter Windorstat to save the day. For those of you unaware, this little app displays the contents of your drives in a graphical layout, with the size usage of each file proportionately scaled to the others. Normally, one can expect a large block of medium-sized files, some downloaded videos, a few Steam games, but never in my years have I opened the application to find one giant MSSING monstrosity of a block consuming well over half the poor 2 terabytes drive, barely leaving other little files to squeeze in around the edges, clawing desperately for some leftover ones and zeros to call home. The seasoned among you will already have guessed, but this file was none other than the villain of the piece, the dark and shady pagefile.size. Our hero, yours truly, swam through the dark recesses of the system configuration in search of the settings pane that would confirm my hunch, all the while my colleagues' eyes growing wider with understanding and guilt. Eventually, I found it. The page file options were set to manual configuration, and that manual configuration was a default size of 1 terabyte, with permission to expand to 1.2. My colleague offered an explanation for his actions. Apparently some 4 years ago he fancied himself a game of Modern Warfare, and was displeased to find it kept crashing. Rather than just quit some background applications or buy some more memory, he decided the best solution was to boost his page file size. First a GB, no good. Maybe 2 gigabytes. No dice. Eventually he must have just opted for 1 followed by a random amount of zeros, happening to be an entire TB. Years passed, and he didn't notice the change day to day as the page file gradually grew fatter, gorging itself on any scraps of executable it could find. Slowly expanding to occupy 1.2 terabytes of his total 1.8, and that is how he has lived, without question, for 4 years. A page file size drop and reboot later and he was a happy camper, and I had my first TFTS post. TLDR, friend wanted to play a game, lacked sufficient RAM. Sacrificed most of 2 terabytes HDD to the page file gods as an eternal offering. Edit. Wow, this blew up overnight, thanks for making it a good first post all. Smiley face. Also, I've seen a lot of people ask why I'm doing comp sci for tech support, wanting to go into tech support in the first place. Truth is, I oversimplified things. I didn't think it was relevant, but the specifics are, I'm doing a Bachelor of Information Science, with a double major in Computer Science and Information Technology. Because, honestly I don't know specifically what I plan to do after graduating, just that I love IT and want to do something in that field. As for why tech support? After reading this subreddit, it sounds like it should keep me entertained. Why would you sell me an obsolete system? This comes from the wonderful world of home security systems customer support. My coworker fields this one. $CW is coworker. $GOG is grumpy old guy. $CW, thank you for calling blah 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 security, how may I help you? $GOG, gives name, address, password, blood sample of firstborn for verification purposes. Well, my system isn't accepting codes and won't turn on or off. I think it started after the storm that came through last night. $CW, did lightning strike your house or close by? $GOG, yes. $CW, I see. Based on the age of the system, it probably took a surge. We're unable to get replacement parts anymore. So you'll need an upgrade. I can get someone in sales to call you with a price. $GOG, well, can't you just send someone out to fix it? $CW, we certainly can, but as it's obsolete equipment it's unlikely they can repair it. You'd still be billed for the service call. This is where the customer gets irate. $GOG, why would you sell me an obsolete system?